And starting off our broadcast, it's an event that will define agriculture this year. Massive flooding across Nebraska destroyed homes, engulfed roads, and turned rural towns into islands. Words used to describe the flooding were catastrophic, historic, and record-breaking. But no matter what you called it, it's an event that will never be forgotten. And Market Journal was there from the very beginning. Bill Dodd has this report.
Here's the water. This is our alfalfa field.
The pictures are devastating. Rushing water, impassable streets, and farms turned into lakes. Meteorologists say high snow totals in February, melting in March, and the recent bomb cyclone made conditions right for the perfect storm and some of the worst flooding the state has seen in decades.
Right before this event, we had a couple snowstorms with high wind that blew a lot of the snow into ditches, backed up culverts, and we had the big significant ice accumulation. So in all this combination, the rain on the snow causing the melt, warmer temperatures, that also additional melt, water flowing in off of very steep slopes. We're in an area of the state that has a lot of terrain changes over short distances. All of these just led to a combination of factors that led to an unbelievable flood event.
Flooding impacted about 2/3 of the state, with much of it concentrated along the Platte, Elkhorn, and Missouri rivers.
The damage is devastating. It's gone. It looks like a tornado went through, or an avalanche, or anything that wipes out everything in its path. The water and the couple times where they had walls of water that moved through took debris and ice with it. And so it's not just water running around poles, it's water knocking poles over. So I would imagine as this water recedes away, it'll look very destructive behind it.
The damage won't be fully known until the water goes down, but the cost could rival 4 Nebraska floods that occurred in the spring and summer of 1950.
But when you think about what it cost in terms of hourly wage compared to 50 years ago, it's not going to take long for this to really run its course up in terms of values. And honestly, based on the amount of cattle losses and the uncertainty, you've got farmers that may not be able to plant, maybe not get to their fields because they're cut off due to depending where they lie within the river and bridges cut off. I think that we're probably somewhere in the $500 million to $1 billion range, and it may even go higher depending on if we see additional precipitation events on top of this before the rivers go back within their bank.
Planting is already delayed, and for some farmers will have to be canceled completely. Not only do these producers have to deal with saturated fields, but what the waters will leave behind.
Those rivers, they take sediment with it, and they deposit it someplace, and a lot of times it's right on those fields that are along the river. So if you have a lot of extra sediment that's sitting on top, logs, debris, it'll take some time to clean that up, and you have to sort of bring that topsoil back to life before we even want to put a seed back out there.
Cattle producers are also feeling the impacts through loss of animals or long-term health.
If they're gone or not alive, there's an instant impact right away. Long-term, I think, will be some calf health. I think as people go now and they're moving cows out of their pens out into pasture because it's too muddy, they'll run out of grass earlier than probably what they would have been because they typically don't go to grass for another couple months. So those could be impacts that we could see later this summer.
Williams encourages those affected to check with their local insurance agent and FSA office to mitigate their losses as best they can, and also to try to keep a positive attitude.
People say it all the time, you see the good in people when the worst things come. And I think that's what a lot of people probably realize, that the neighbors that are thinking about them, the people that are from across the country that are calling, the people that are hauling hay from Texas and Kansas and Oklahoma up to Nebraska. I mean, it's hard, but the sun will shine and the water will drain away. So we'll keep plugging away and keep working on it.
Reporting for Market Journal, I'm Bill Dodd.